adds more value. Prudent economic policies that harness the comparative advantages, peace and security that supported political stability, among others. These countries, which were like us about 50, 60 years ago, are South Korea, 46 years of growth at an average growth rate of 13%, grew from 38 billion in 1977 to US dollars 1,665 billion in 2023. South Korea in 1977 smaller than our economy now. Our economy is more or less like one and a half times where it is now, compared to what South Korea was in 1977. But now you hear they are at 1.7 trillion, 1.7 trillion. Thailand, 38 years of growth at an average rate of 7.6%, from $38 billion 1985 to 500 billion in 2023. Malaysia, 34 years of growth at an average annual rate of 8%, from US dollars 35 billion in 38 billion in 1989 to US dollars 406 billion now. Singapore, 33 years of growth at an average growth rate of 8.7%, from US dollars 36 billion in 1990 to 466 billion in 2023. And Chile, 33 years of growth at an average rate of 4.5%, from $33 billion in 1990 to US dollars 316 billion in 2023. So it's really possible what I have told the government to do. So and many of these countries don't have the resources, did not have the resources we have. If you look at South Korea, you look at Singapore, they don't have natural resources like we have. To expand regional trade and support regional development, Uganda is undertaking joint projects with the DRC and implementing interventions to reduce transport costs and improve the border infrastructure to facilitate trade and financial services across the region. We are undertaking joint projects in the road sector and electricity to Eastern Congo. Securing this market is good for Uganda in terms of exports and jobs. Ugandans, in terms of the Uganda government and President Tshisekedi of DRC will continue to work together to improve the security situation in Eastern Congo. Uganda has gained competitiveness in recent years in a number of tradable goods, including animal products such as beef and milk, agricultural products, especially coffee, tea, fish, sugar, fresh and processed food, and industrial products such as cement, iron and steel products, light manufactured goods, etc. However, we continue to face non-tariff barriers to our exports, which are being resolved through our discussion with the leaders of the ESC and COMESA. If we did not have non-tariff barriers by some of our brothers and sisters, Uganda would be exporting much more. But this will be solved. This will be solved. I'm talking to all of them. It will be solved. Tourism inflows remained resilient, recording an increase of 9% from US dollars 978 million in financial year 2021-2022. This was the year of Corona. Our earnings in tourism went down to $978 million from more than 1 billion. Tourism inflows remained resilient, recording an increase of 9% from US dollars 978 million in financial year 2021-2022 to US dollars 1.1 billion in financial year 2023. This growth is partly attributed to increased confidence of travelers as the world recovers from COVID-19 global shock, the good natural attractions that Uganda has, and peace and security. You can see the big garden of tourism where you can earn money. The 9.5 trillion, you can imagine. Abalambuzi abo basasanya obutabalika mwenda n'ekitundu. They spend 9.7 trillion. You Bazukuru who have got internet, if you check, you'll find that, for instance, the automobiles, a motorcar, I think their global values are like 1 trillion something. Yeah. A motorcar. But tourism here, you can compare a motorcar, what is the global, you have the internet, because somebody is walking on the road, is looking at the phone. With the Banyankuru, you go looking up, you don't go looking down. But since you go with those phones, you check what is the global business of automobiles, vehicles, for instance. How about pharmaceuticals? You can check item by item. But you hear now tourism, 9.5 trillion. And Uganda has got a lot of tourism potential. In 2019, foreign visitors to Uganda spent over Uganda shilling is 4.6 trillion on tourism services, while domestic tourists spent about US dollars 3 trillion, according to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics. In total, this is equivalent to about US dollars 2 billion, which is equivalent to 0.02% of the global industry value. The number of tourists globally was about 965 million in 2021, compared to only 1.5 million foreign investors in Uganda in 2019. Kubumbi, Bukade, Wawalambuzi, Rwanda, Kagumutano, Fetulembekako, Akakade Kamu Nekitundu. That's not, we need to capture more tourists. If we increase our share of tourism receipts in this global trade by 5 times to 0.1% and increase in the annual number of foreign tourists by 5 times under the current average spend per tourism of 3 million shillings and an average length of 8.3 nights, Uganda can potentially earn US dollars 6.2 billion per year from tourism alone. If we get more numbers and they stay longer, we can earn 6 billion per year from tourism. The lies of the European and American politicians about security and stereotype about Uganda must therefore be aggressively encountered by providing the correct information through our friends in those countries and online internet to show the correct image of the country. You remember when our sinners, you remember they are suspected sinners, abantu bali bali mulowooza nti bonoonyi. When they were going somewhere, me, I was not yet following what they were doing, but what excited me was the ADF trying to go and blow them up. Why do you want to blow up these sinners? God will take care of them. So I had to go full swing to defend the sinners munange. Nembazingira wanawo ejinja abasirikale bibali bakolera sibimanyi. But my job was, whether sinner or holy person, they should not die from bombs of ADF. So then these people, the foreigners, started giving what they call advisories to their people. Don't go to Uganda. Oh, you man, why don't you just talk about your country? Huh? If a man is fighting with his wife in the neighboring house, then you go there. You hear, you people, they can hit you with mpimbi in their house. Why do you mind with the neighbors' houses? Hmm? Some of these Europeans are simply afraid of the potential that we have in our strategic areas, therefore want to undermine our unstoppable socio-economic transformation and that of Africa as a whole. Other measures to boost tourism receipts include activation of passage and cargo services at Kabarega International Park, improvements in hotels' capacity and sanitation, and competitive pricing. Our mahoteli muleme kubeera n'omululu okusera. The people who come to your hotel to ask too much. Even if you take small, take small. So competitive pricing. Because these tourists compare, Uganda batu sera. Ate Kenya mwendo wakili. Be careful, don't be too greedy for quick money. Get small, but get many customers. Professionalization and diversification of meetings, incentives, conferences and events. Rapid increase in number of multilingual tour guides, including Swahili and Chinese languages, and expanded use of destination marketing agents. So you need to train more people who speak Chinese, who speak other languages. Like recently in this conference, I saw the vice president from Vietnam. She told me that they send out 13 million tourists a year. So you can imagine if we get 1 million Vietnamese. But does somebody speak Vietnamese language? So the sector people should train, even in our schools, train people who can speak these languages. Remittances of Ugandans working outside the country increased to $1.4 billion in financial year 2023, higher than 1.1 billion in 2021-2022. Uganda continued to register growth in foreign direct investment (FDI) inflows. FDI inflows increased by 68%. 68%. In the financial year 2023, largely hinged on the development in the oil sector as Uganda prepares for its first oil. FDI inflows rose from $1.6 billion financial year 2022 to $2.8 billion in financial year 2022-2023. Formal employment has recovered from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pay-as-you-earn register, kata omanyotya nti emirimo gyeyongedde. How do you know that jobs have increased? Mbategera ewa pay-as-you-earn, because there you can't go wrong. Buli mukozi akola who is getting a salary above a certain level pays income tax, which is pay-as-you-earn, and that one can help us to know which numbers. The pay-as-you-earn register expanded by 14.1% from 1.4 million employees in financial 21-22 to 1.6 million in 22-23 as follows. Uganda Development Bank loans to projects created 41,000 jobs, up from 24,000 jobs in 1920. Free Zones Authority created 9,000 jobs. PDM, 1.6 million members from 148,000 enterprise groups have so far benefited from the national rollout of the PDM. 1.6 million people. have received the PDM money. Emyoga, 378,000 jobs were created by December 2022, rising from 338,000 in March 2022. Kigezi, Acholi and Lango sub-regions registered the highest number of jobs created, while Central Uganda recorded the lowest number of direct jobs created. In Uganda, the youth need to be advised to waliwo abagomaza abaana baffe mu bintu ebirala bino empiira biki you may find people in the other young people are more guided towards wealth creation. Furthermore, the number of working Ugandans subscribing to at least one pension scheme increased by 2.2% from 2.9 million in 2021 to 3 million in 2022. But the ones of NSSF, abantu bameka abali mu mirimo gino gy'emisaala. How many people are being employed? You can tell from the NSSF also. The PDM is the NRM government initiative to spur growth from the bottom up and for transforming the population currently in subsistence to the money economy. The PDM is a pillar of number 5 of the NRM 10 points program to build an independent, integrated, and self-sustaining economy. To date, government has invested shillings 2.23 trillion in the financial inclusion pillar of this model, targeting all the 10,459 parishes across the country for job creation and increasing household incomes. Shillings 1 trillion has been successfully disbursed to 1 million households in 10,455 parishes out of the 10,585 circles across the country. The balance will soon be disbursed when the remaining beneficiaries meet the conditions successfully, is working successfully. Government is working to improve the PDM by improving the monitoring, operationalization of the other 6 pillars of PDM beyond the financial inclusion pillar. The streamlining all government program interventions and service delivery at the parish to ensure the realization of PDM. We are not going to relax on the PDM approach because it is really correct. Because there is no way you can say there is anything wrong with that approach. 100 million shillings per parish of Ugandans have been borrowing money from money lenders who are charging them 3% per month, which makes it 36% in a year or even higher a year. So how can you say this money, where the interest rate is like 6% a year, has any problem? And we are saying that each one of you can borrow $1 or 1 million shillings at a go, and you pay it after 24 months. We don't want you to pay it now. How can you say there's anything wrong with this? We are not going to be diverted to anything else. We shall more money. We want those parishes to have their own bank. The people who are fighting PDM, apart from the corrupt, are the money lenders. The money lenders are worried about this success. If it succeeds, to whom will the money lenders, the money lenders, the sharks, to whom will they lend? So we are not going to relax. Each year we shall spend 1 trillion, to the parishes. It will not be, it will never go down. The commercial production of oil and gas will provide revenues to support the productivity enhancement in the economy through economic activities such as oil refineries, petrochemical plants, petroleum product distributors, natural gas distribution companies, and retail outlets. The government is enhancing investments in this area by fast-tracking the construction of the East African crude oil pipeline and the oil refinery. The pipeline will have the capacity to pump up 330,000 barrels of crude per day. So, all these things you are talking about, our oil has not yet come in. Because this oil will be giving the government free money, new money. And that will enable us to do so many other things which we want but cannot manage now. The knowledge economy is the intellectual-based economy for the production of goods and services. This process enables entrepreneurs to innovate better in manufacturing processes and improve the quality of services offered in the economy. Globally, the knowledge economy, which entails research, science and innovation, is currently a major employer of especially the youth and a major contributor to technological advancement in a number of areas. In addition, the pathogenic subsector is one of the promising segments of the country's knowledge economy, consisting of research and development, technology transfer, and commercialization of innovations. This targets pathogen control and management, such as the vaccines, the diagnostics, the therapeutics, and the attendant facilities. Leveraging a knowledge-based economy will require the following: supporting research and development, R&D, and linking research hubs with universities and industry operators. Now, this scientific research is a real gold mine. For instance, our scientists have recently discovered the anti-tick vaccine, where the cow will be vaccinated and the cow will go around killing ticks. So the cow will be a tick killer rather than being a victim of the ticks. Now, this one was developed by your people, your scientists. And this is one group. There's Dr. Kawa, who is also working separately but doing the same. So the deliberately investing in improving the quality of education, skills development, and in particular, and ICT, putting in place a strategy for long-term development of specialized skills to support a more sophisticated and diversified economy, developing an effective apprenticeship program to quickly acquire knowledge expertise, and technology transfer, given the rising global ICT village. Putting in place a reward system and a functional transparent patent system for innovation. The NRM government will continue with the development of energy infrastructure and complete the ongoing electricity projects to lower the cost of electricity for manufacturers and small-scale businesses, including commissioning of the third turbine of the 600-megawatt Karuma hydropower project, addressing the gaps to fully operationalize Isimba power plant, and completing Nyagak in West Nile and Orio mini hydropower stations for power plants. To facilitate power evacuation, the completion of the Mirama Kabare 132 kV line, Kampala Metropolitan Transmission System Improvement Project, and the Masaka-Mbarara transmission line will be expedited. Activities for the development of nuclear energy to diversify our energy sources will also continue, starting with Buyende in Busoga. Nuclear energy is expected to add another 2,000 megawatts to the national grid by 2036. However, by 240, we must ensure the generation of 52,000 megawatts from all sources. The government has supported the development of industrial parks. 7 are currently operational, and they include Namanve, Jinja, Boyogerere, Soroti, Mbale, Kasese, and Ruzira. In addition, there are 3 industrial parks developed under the public-private partnership arrangement at Kapeka, Mukono, and Buyukwe. Uganda Investment Authority has acquired an additional 12 square miles for industrial development provided by the various local governments across the 18 zones in the country. Investing in the people of Uganda, which includes health and education, will continue to be given priority, including addressing the poor governance and the wastage of public resources in these areas. Whereas the outcomes have improved, we have not yet achieved desirable levels, especially in the critical areas of education and health. Security infrastructure and interventions to maintain peace and security of the people of Uganda, investors, and our visitors is guaranteed. These included strengthening the capacity of the security agencies to address emerging security threats, addressing discipline issues of security personnel in the Uganda People's Defense Forces, Uganda Police, and Uganda prisons, enhancing the security infrastructure to detect crime before it happens, and addressing the welfare of personnel in the security forces. This includes the security interventions and achievements under the anti-livestock theft and disarmament operations in Karamoja and Operation Shuja in DRC. The security infrastructure we have built will eliminate the very few remaining loopholes where ADF terrorists are exploiting to carry out cowardly attacks on civilians. As we commemorate the 38th anniversary of NRM victory, I want to assure everybody, including our visitors and investors, that Uganda will remain a peaceful, secure, and prosperous country. Ekiri mu nsiko bwe kirubwatuka ensi erikankana, omwana aliyita nyina, omukulu aliyita engozi. That was one of our songs in the bush. that has always been the potential of NRM. When we were a students' movement, a liberation movement, and while in government. This saying says that what is hidden also out, if it comes out, when it explodes, the world will shake, children will shout for their mothers out of fright, etc., etc. That is what the NRM always does. Like when we captured Kampala in 1986, everybody didn't know that we had that capacity. The recent two mega conferences of NAM and G7 plus China demonstrated a little bit of this. A delegate from Russia, a deputy minister, told me that only the superpowers can organize such a conference. Uganda is still on the way, but it will soon be there because the base is already there. We shall really be a superpower because we are moving towards that. There were 1,918 delegates in that conference. 1,918 delegates from 129 countries. 129 countries sent people here. 16 presidents, 9 vice presidents, 16 prime ministers, 7 special category people coming into Uganda by airlines, but also with 32 private jets. I thank the Ugandans for the discipline in receiving these visitors. These countries who are in the conference here have a population of 6.6 billion. This is 80% of the human race. More importantly, look at the facilities we built partly for this occasion, but also in order to improve the infrastructure of the country. Some of them built in 1 year. Look at the new terminal built by the UPDF Engineering Brigade. You can imagine that terminal was built by the UPDF Engineering Brigade. Yeah. Look at the conference center built by Sudanese company using government money. You show us Sudanese the conference center. That was one of the delegates was asking, one of the presidents was saying, are these the Chinese who built this? We said, no. This was built by our local company. And that terminal, which the engineers brigade built, is there is nothing we cannot do. It is just a question of prioritization. Some people always talk about the potholes of Kampala. They should also talk about the good upcountry roads from Kisoro-Nimule, from Busia to Busunga in Bunduwijo. Those roads are there to the hinterland of the country, to the upcountry districts. Without corruption, we have the capacity to do everything. I have already instructed the engineering brigade to start preparing to build the standard gauge railway instead of only waiting for outsiders to do it. I thank you and I wish you all peaceful celebrations. Thank you very much.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes a meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste of Uganda, yeah, I want ya.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
Ero sina sente.
Mpona imitwala, bili njera kujuza kaduka kange. The signs and symptoms of success, the bank commander, not the bank teller.
Lwaki okalubirizibwa okufuna loan ng'olina MTN Momo? Weesootinge! Kozesa Momo app obanyika *165*5# okufuna looni ey'amangu. Londako looni ekukolera okuva mu looni ez'ebika eby'enjawulo eziva mu bannaffe be tukolagana nabo. Nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.